All rise.
Seated. Mrs. Gretzky.
We are here in the case of the State of Ohio v. Brandon Truett, case number 26CR59. The defendant previously pled guilty to having weapons while under disability, a felony of the third degree. Since then, pre-sentence report, psychological evaluation have been completed, and we're here today for the sentencing.
Mr. Reardon.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court is aware, we were here for sentencing. I believe it was last week, and the hearing was adjourned and rescheduled for today. Last time we were here, the state and I and probation spoke about sentencing and input for the court to consider. My understanding is that all of us are suggesting to you that community control is a reasonable resolution or sentence here, and that the primary issue for Mr. Truett is mental health, and that he needs help and he needs treatment. And I'm urging the court to consider following those recommendations and perhaps having Mr. Truett treat with the Everett House if the court is so inclined. I know when we adjourned here last time, there was some discussion about some of the facts of the underlying case, including the genesis of my client coming into possession of the weapon that he admittedly brandished in the car with his brother. And he explained to the court where he got it, and the court was not convinced that that story was accurate. Since we left court last time...
That's putting it mildly.
Since we left court last time and came back, I made that very clear to my client and to his mother, and I told them to consider the situation and to let me know if, in fact, there are different facts that would apply to that. And as we come back before you today, the story has not changed, and if the court wants to hear about it, my client has prepared a statement that he can read to you as to the best of his recollection as to what happened that day. The reason he wrote it down is because he is nervous, very scared here today, has trouble communicating. He's not a good public speaker, so I encouraged him to write it down, and he has done so. I also encouraged his mother, who's here with us today, to talk to him and let me know if she had anything to report on the facts, and she did contact me and tell me that he believes he is telling the truth. And she can also comment on what she knows of the situation, including she tells me that she went and visited the neighborhood by the grandmother's house herself to see what it looked like, to determine on her own whether she thought his story was plausible, if the court is so interested in hearing her thoughts in that regard. So with all that being said, I will leave it to the court to...
Well, you present whatever you want to present.
Okay, well...
And I'll listen to what anybody has to say.
All right. Well, Mr. Truett, please read to the court what your statement is of what happened on that day.
A few years ago, I drove to meet my cousin at my grandmother's house on Elliott Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not sure what exact month, but I know it was rain on my windshield. It was my day off from work, and I brought my dog with me. When I got there, I didn't see my cousin's truck in the driveway. I called and texted him, and he didn't respond. I waited 15 minutes and decided to leave. Before leaving, I let my dog out to use the bathroom. We walked to the park that was next door to my grandmother's house and along the fence line. My dog went through the hole in the fence, and I followed him. He went down the slope and was sniffing at the bottom. When I got to the bottom, I was looking around and I saw something mixed in with the leaves around some trash. When I picked it up, I saw it was a gun. I put it in my hoodie pocket and I left. When I had a chance to take a better look at the gun, I saw the gun was loaded.
That's the end of that statement, Your Honor. Would you also like to hear from his mother?
It's up to you.
Okay. Mrs. Truitt, if you don't mind, you could probably stand up right there, I assume. Is that okay, Your Honor?
Yep.
Let him know what you know about the situation.
I went after speaking with Brandon and hearing his truth. I went to the area by my mother-in-law's home and to assess it for myself visually. And I did take pictures of the, independent of the pictures he had, because I wanted to have everything on my own and understand that. I took pictures of the area, and the area is not pristine. It's a dumping ground for any and everything, and I can't see how something could be there that in most places would not. I know I live in Willoughby Hills, and I would never think that I would find a gun in a park, because they clean up often, and it's just not the norm. But in this area of town, high crime rate, it is, and I can't believe that it is the norm that people will discard any and everything at any particular time. And I do believe that he made a wrong decision, but he did find the gun based on the things that he was, based on what he is sharing with me and with the court. I have, one thing that Brandon is not is a liar. He makes bad choices since he's been in his 20s, and a lot of that is due to the illness that he has, and that's impacted a lot of things that he's done. But I've never known him to be a liar. He was one of the, we have 4 children, and all the children, he was the one that we trusted the most to do and be faithful, be truthful, and honest with us whenever we asked something. He may have been scared when he did it, but he did come with the truth each and every time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Anything else you want to say, Mr. Truitt?
No.
When we were here last week, I ordered a psychological evaluation. And I have a report. Or it was actually before that. In your comments, reveal where you're at with regard to your condition. Now, I don't believe you found the gun, okay, but let's set that aside. You have a diagnosis of schizophrenia, and you told the evaluator, as long as I smoke weed, I don't hear voices. And she indicates that your thoughts and your comments kept going back to things related to your cannabis use, as well as the importance of you having a medical card. The medical records reveal 5 hospitalizations: Richmond Heights, Mercy, North Coast, Windsor, Laurelwood, and Summa. And you asked about those, you did not acknowledge any of these hospitalizations. You acknowledge starting to use marijuana at the age of 17 and report using it every day because you have a medical card and it works better than the meds to keep you from losing it. You stated, I don't need any other treatment, I just need to be able to get my shot and smoke weed to keep my cool. Is that your recollection from your interview with the evaluator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you don't need any treatment.
I mean, I feel like I can benefit from therapy.
What?
I feel like I can benefit from therapy. But
Okay. What kind of therapy? What do you mean therapy?
Just having someone to talk to. I don't really have anyone to talk to. So,
Right.
I mean, besides my mom.
See, here's the problem. Setting aside the whole gun in the woods thing. Okay. Let's accept that as true. You've got a gun for a couple of years that was loaded, and you have it with you, and because you can't smoke in the car or with the door open, and you get in an argument, you hold the gun to your brother's head.
I was scared.
You were scared of what?
Well, he was yelling at me, and it just didn't make any sense.
Did he take out his gun and hold it to you?
No,
Did he take out his gun at all?
no.
Did you know he had a gun?
I know, yes.
Okay. But you held it to his head because you were afraid what? He was going to shoot you?
No, just to stop him from fighting with me. I don't understand why he was trying to fight with me, because I tried to tell him.
I don't understand why you held a gun to your brother's head over smoking in the car, even if he was yelling at you.
You said over smoking in the car?
Uh-huh. That's the argument about, right? Smoking.
And I tried to tell, I told him to dead the situation, and then he kept bringing it up, and I don't understand why.
Okay. What rational person holds a gun to his brother's head over an argument about smoking in a car?
It didn't seem like he wanted to just keep talking. It didn't. He was
No,
just
we're
yelling.
not.
And you were going to shut him up by holding a gun to his head.
No, just to get him to stop. And like when he said stop, I stopped. I put it down.
See, you don't really believe that you need treatment. You just need to smoke weed. Right?
No, I said I could benefit from therapy.
Where?
I go to Crossroads.
Why did you deny that you had been hospitalized 5 separate times?
I don't really recall when I've been hospitalized. I just have little episodes.
Well, you didn't acknowledge any of the hospitalizations when she brought them up to you. Why?
I didn't remember.
You didn't remember that you had been hospitalized at all?
I mean, I remember I've been to the hospital, but not which hospital. Like, I mean, I've been to the one in Willoughby. I've been to one in, where else? I think Euclid. I'm not sure, but I can't remember which exact hospitals I've been to.
So you're this far away from shooting your brother?
No, no.
No?
No.
You know, holding a gun to somebody's head isn't this far away from shooting them?
If my hand was on the trigger, yes. But if my finger wasn't on the trigger and I had no intent to do it, I don't want to hurt him.
Okay. I don't know. You've got a diagnosis, a working diagnosis of schizophrenia, right? Sometimes you get the shot, sometimes you don't get the shot, and you smoke weed every day. And you're holding a gun to your brother's head. All that adds up to a dangerous person.
If it matters, I didn't smoke that time when I did it. So I just,
I mean, listen. You haven't demonstrated that you want to put in the effort to treat your mental health diagnosis. You haven't demonstrated that. Because I don't know if you think the shot is legitimate or not legitimate, but you don't always take it.
No, well, ever since I got released, I had to. Yeah, I've been taking.
What about before that?
Yeah, I was taking pills, I think. And then we switched to a shot.
You always took your medication.
But the pills, no. But the shot, yes.
Why didn't you take the pills?
I didn't believe I needed it.
Okay. Based on what?
My own reasoning.
Okay. All right. And so who were you treating with that prescribed the pills?
It was the same people at Crossroads. I think it was, my doctor was Kim at that time.
And so that doctor said, here, these pills will benefit your mental illness, right? And you said, no, they won't.
Because at the time I liked having the voices in my head because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So it was just having.
So you acknowledge you had voices in your head.
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't take the medication, but you smoked marijuana because you said that stopped the voices in your head.
Well, it stops it and it calms it, but
Okay.
like I can think clear. Like I don't get attached to thoughts. Like I just notice them.
Now, if you had, instead of holding a gun to your brother's head, punched him in the mouth, then that would be different. Because that might be a reasonable response to two brothers arguing. But I can't think of a situation where it's a reasonable response for him, if he was yelling at you, to pull out a gun, a loaded gun, and hold it to his head. That's a completely irrational, unreasonable response. It's irrational because you suffer from schizophrenia. And my guess is that had you not been suffering from schizophrenia, you probably wouldn't have pulled out a gun and held it to your brother's head. Because a rational person doesn't do that. Now, your mother describes you as a truthful person, and a good person. So there's only two kinds of people that engage in this action. Bad people or irrational people. Either one is dangerous, because holding a gun, a loaded gun to somebody's head, and pulling the trigger, whether intentionally or accidentally, is your trigger finger is this far from the trigger, right?
Yeah.
That's dangerous. And if you seem to think you have a better way to treat your mental illness than any doctors do. Because they say, take the pills, they're going to help you. You say, I ain't taking the pills because they ain't going to help me.
I took the shot.
I know you took the shot, okay? Why did you take the shot?
Because I wasn't taking the pills, and then they said that it was just to follow the guidelines to live in the house with my mom. And then I did that, so to comply with her, I just had to get the shot.
So your motivation was to live with your mom. It wasn't...
No, it wasn't to live with my mom. It was just a place to stay in the meantime. But the rules in her house was that I had to take medication.
Okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't have taken it because you didn't really need it because you got the dope, right?
I mean, meditation and exercise help too, but that's not just that thing.
So your motivation for taking the shot is not to treat the schizophrenia, it's to follow the rules that your mother sets out for you. Right?
Yes, I guess.
Okay. So you don't really have any insight into your schizophrenia.
I mean, I have, like, right now I can control my head. Like, it's like if I hear like a negative thought, I don't attach myself to that negative thought. I just acknowledge it and let it go. Like, I don't, like, I just,
Does he have any insight into his schizophrenia?
Not real ownership. You believe that he can manage it.
You can't manage it. It can't be. It can be managed with the help of medical professionals whose business it is, whose life has been dedicated to treating things like that. It can't be managed by you. The same way that a heroin addict can't manage their addiction all by themselves. Now, I don't know whether you want to acknowledge that you can't manage it, or you can't face that. Maybe, maybe you can't face the fact that you've got that. You've got it. For whatever reason, you got it. You didn't do anything to get it, you just got it. And I don't know, in the context of legal trouble, you got that assault in 19. I don't know whether that had anything to do with your condition or not.
no, so it was my first time ever being in jail. And then when the officer wanted me to sign a paper that said I went in front of a judge, and I didn't, I said, I'm not going to sign that paper. And he said, what, are you a lawyer? I said, no, I didn't go in front of a judge, so I'm not going to sign the paper. So he took me back to my cell and said, I can't do this, this, and this. But when I was there for 3 days, they were allowing me to do that. And then he told me to pick up my mat when I was the only one in my cell. I said I was going to pick it up. And he said, pick up the mat. And then in my head, there's a voice in my head that said, he's going to lock you in here. So
Okay.
I panicked.
So that had to do with your schizophrenia.
I guess that's when it started.
Okay. Well, okay. So so you're here again for something that is more violent than what you were here or what you were in Cuyahoga for the last time.
I tried to help him up after I hit him, though.
What?
I tried to help him up after
Well,
I hit him.
that's beside the point. Whatever happened, and it was due in large part to your schizophrenia. Right?
Yes.
You don't have to tell him. You don't have to tell him
Yes.
how to answer. He knows how to answer.
know.
Yes.
Okay. This is my discussion with Brandon. My discussion with Jim is over with for the time being. So here you are again on something that I think is more serious. Because I have to balance I have to get out my crystal ball and figure out what you're going to do in the future. Right? That's part of my job. I view you as a danger to your brother and to others. Because if you're not complying with the recommended treatment, or you're getting the shot and smoking pot anyway, then in my mind, that makes you dangerous. So there's my dilemma. And I don't know that you see it I don't think you see it that way. You see it as an argument, and this was your way to get out of the argument, and you weren't going to do anything to harm your brother. That's the way you see it. It was just a way to stop all the bickering, right?
Yes.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it anything close to being that way. So, Mr. Reardon, the probation department, Ms. Segretsky, are all recommending you be on probation. So, the reason people are put on probation is so they correct their behavior with the hopes that they don't come back here again. And in order to correct the behavior so you don't come back here again, a plan is set out. If you don't follow the plan, then the behavior can't be corrected. If you follow the plan, then the behavior can be corrected. There were 3 people here this afternoon before you who didn't follow the plan and weren't correcting their behavior. My concern with you is you don't really see any behavior to be corrected because, as your mother said, you think you can manage it yourself. The fact that you're sitting here means you can't manage it yourself. And if you refuse to recognize that you can't manage it yourself, you're not going to follow the plan, and you're out there creating a danger. And that's just a fact. Now, if you don't recognize that, I can't make you recognize that. I would imagine that your mother has tried to make you recognize that in the past, but you won't do it.
She says she's seen an improvement in me ever since I got on the shot.
Right. Okay. What does the shot mean?
I don't.
What does the shot indicate?
It's medicine. It's
Okay.
Right.
And how long have you been taking the shot?
Couple of years, I think. I don't know.
How long have you been consistently taking the shot? Meaning you're taking it when you're supposed to take it.
I just get it. I've been at my mom's house for like 5 years. So ever since I stopped taking the pills, I've been taking that shot every time they ask for it.
All right. So were you taking it in January of this year?
Yes.
December of last year?
Yes.
Okay. And you've taken it every month since then?
It's a 6-month shot, I think. Like a 5 or 6 month shot.
Okay. Can you tell me what it is, what the plan is, and what the compliance has been on his shots? Yeah.
It's a 3-month shot that he has to take in order to keep the medicine in his system. It has been over the last year. As he gets closer to the 3 months benchmark, it starts to wear off. And it has to get back into his system again to start building back up. The behaviors start to come when it's on an decline, and it's time for that shot to come.
And that's really the case with all injectable medications. So when are you supposed to have it again?
I think I got it a couple of weeks ago. So I have an appointment with Crossroads on the 26th. So I think it's either with my therapist or just for the shot.
And when you go to Crossroads, who administers the shot?
Kyle.
Who?
My nurse Kyle.
Kyle?
Yeah.
Is that a he?
She.
She. And do you tell Kyle that you also smoke pot with the shot?
Yeah.
And what do they say? Okay?
Yeah, she's fine with it. Like I talked to her about random things.
You don't have any records from Crossroads, right?
We do, yeah.
Does it say that they're okay with him smoking pot?
So he was actually diagnosed with severe cannabis use disorder.
Uh-huh.
So none that I can see that they were okay with that.
Okay. My guess is that it's not okay. that they don't think it's okay.
I've had my other counselor, Kim, said she was fine with it when I was talking and telling her about it.
Then what's the reason that on January 7th that you went off the rails here?
To stop him from.
I know that, but that's irrational. That's an irrational response to an argument.
Just to stop the thing from happening.
Well, did it stop it from happening?
Yeah.
Well, again, I guess if I were, if I were Darnell, I guess it would have stopped me from arguing too. So you wouldn't pull the trigger.
I wasn't trying to argue with him. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to argue in at all.
Okay, so I guess, let me see. If I were Darnell, I would stop yelling at you because I wouldn't want you to pull the trigger.
Well, no, he told me to stop, and I stopped.
Okay. Segretsky?
State's recommendation is community control and trust this court to fashion a sentence appropriate based on all the information that the court has before it.
I need a crystal ball for that. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the psychological evaluation, the victim impact statement. I've listened to the defendant, listened to his mother, both counsel, and I've considered all the provisions in 29-29-11, 29-29-12, and 29-29-13. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 90 days in jail with credit for 15. You're going to enter into the treatment program at Everett House. You're going to comply with the treatment plan. You're going to follow all recommendations. You're to have no illicit drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to go to only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for prescription medication. You're to take your medication only as it's prescribed. Sign releases for probation. When the time comes, the appropriate time comes, you're to maintain full employment. You're to have no contact with Darnell Truitt, Jr., and you're going to pay the costs and fees. Ms. Shuizawa, anything else? Any other terms? Okay. Do you understand the terms?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question about the terms?
No, sir.
Okay. This makes me very uneasy. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So as a result, who's going to be his PO?
Kaylee Warren.
Okay. Your probation officer is going to be Kaylee Warren, and Kaylee Warren is going to be in contact with the folks at Everett House and relay to me what you're doing at Everett House. And if you're not complying, or you're causing a problem, or you're trying to direct what the treatment should be, then I'll yank your ass out of there and get you back here on a violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And if I find you violated, then you're going to go to prison for 36 months.
Yes, sir.
It's a very unpleasant place. You are either going to acknowledge that you have schizophrenia and treat it, or you're not. Nobody can do it for you. Your mother's tried to get you to do that, and you haven't done it. Now the risk is, if you don't face it, acknowledge it, treat it, you're going to fail, and you're going to go to prison. Is there anything unclear about that?
No, sir.
Anything else, Ms. Segretsky?
Would the court order a forfeiture of the firearm?
Yes. Oh, yes. Anything else, Mr. Reardon?
Only, Your Honor, to make sure I understand the sentence, forgive me. So he is going to serve 75 days jail and then go straight to Everett House from there? Or
Well-
am I mistaken?
Yes, you're mistaken.
What is,
What I want is, when a spot is available at Everett House, then he's to go there, and the remainder of the days will be suspended.
okay, thank you.
So I don't know what the time frame is,
Right,
but whatever that is, that is. So who administers that place, Amanda?
Signature Health, Your Honor.
Okay. So when he, I don't think Mr. Truitt knows when he's due to get his next shot, but I don't want to lose sight of when that is so that there's a gap in that time. And when would you inform Kaylee that I want like weekly updates on what's going on at Everett?
Yes.
And with the information given to Everett about his habit of smoking pot to control his condition.
Yes. I did misspeak. Since he is ISP, he will be going to Indian Side.
Okay. Anything else?
nothing further from me, Your Honor.
All right.